The year is 2035, and the world is on the brink of chaos, ravaged by violent conflict and psychological warfare following the events of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 6. Wielding cutting edge technology, the Black Ops team, led by David Mason, must fight back against a manipulative enemy who weaponizes fear above all else. You know how it goes: new year, new Call of Duty. And with today's, at time of recording, Xbox Games Showcase came the first announcement of Black Ops 7, the long rumored and, maybe, triumphant return of the futuristic setting and storyline of 2012's Black Ops 2. With this first teaser, we're introduced to the returning, and slightly recast, David Mason as he investigates a mysterious tech company known as the Guild, before being sent into a seeming hallucination or simulation, featuring several instances of past iconography, such as a shipping container, possibly a reference to Woods' captivity in Black Ops 2, the room in Vorkuta in which Alex Mason was brainwashed in Black Ops 1, and, most strikingly, the seeming return of Raul Menendez, something that, in my opinion, could signal an interesting story connection to possibly the most overlooked aspect of Treyarch's Black Ops storyline. However, first of all, the idea of a Black Ops 2 sequel does raise the question of what the canonical ending of Black Ops 2 even was, as the game had branching story paths as a major feature. Some of this has been clarified by both Black Ops 6's pre-release marketing, as well as today's announcement. The major detail that has confused some is the presence of Menendez, as the Black Ops 3 campaign and marketing seemingly confirmed the ending in which he is killed as canon to the wider series, with nothing to dispute this until now, not counting a very odd Vanguard season. But we believe we might know a way in which this could be handled in Black Ops 7, and it all ties back to Black Ops 4. Now, Black Ops 4 didn't actually feature a campaign, instead focusing more on the game's BlackOut Battle Royale mode, but this doesn't mean this game lacked lore relating to them. The Specialist HQ mode featured its own storyline set in the 2040s, in which Savannah Mason, daughter of David Mason, runs a CIA-backed program known as Project BlackOut, which saw a seeming revival of several classic Black Ops characters using advanced technology, notably Alex Mason, Frank Woods, Victor Reznov, and Raul Menendez, as archetypes, with the mode's final cutscene even curiously calling back to the Black Ops 2 Woods shipping container thing in much the same way that it appears Black Ops 7 could be, and related audio logs even calling back to the Numbers program plotline, which this reveal even more clearly does as well. Something we should probably touch on first is what exactly is an archetype? While they weren't entirely explained, we can glean from the mode's various audio logs that they are the CIA's way of bringing back their greatest assets and adversaries from the dead, so they can carry out their bidding. Essentially super soldiers, and with the likes of what Woods and Mason went through and were able to accomplish in Black Ops 1, 2, etc., it would make sense that they would want to keep them around. Daniel Livingstone in Black Ops 6 even remarks that people like Woods are the last global gunslingers, he says, and puts emphasis that the CIA still does need people like them in the ending of Black Ops 6. The way in which they are brought back being via memory implantation, seemingly. They put memories of heroes like Mason and Woods into new hosts, turning them into sort of copies. Savannah called them the cure for the world's problems. Menendez states in one log, "You, me, Woods, Mason, all of us." And there are other logs which imply BlackOut itself, as in the literal matches of BlackOut, are canon. So essentially, they throw archetypes into a real battle royale to see who'll survive. Brutal turmoil with real deaths, hence why Savannah's sister was against the program. Imagine they brainwash 100 guys to think that they're Mason and Woods and send them into a battle. The last Mason and Woods standing are in essence the best archetypes of them and could be considered the real versions of them, in a sense. Another interesting subtle detail in today's teaser is that throughout it, whispers, seemingly of David Mason, can be heard, with phrases such as, "This isn't real," "You're not here," and most interestingly for the purpose of this video, "I watched you die," being audible. Now, that last one is important to note, considering David did in fact watch Menendez, who we see shortly after this, die, in what is considered to be the canonical Black Ops 2 ending, and his seeming confusion as to his Black Ops 7 return could line up with this as well. It's our belief that Menendez's return is as an AI construct of sorts following his death, and that this could even tie back into the archetypes being artificial mental recreations of deceased characters as well, with BO7 Menendez possibly even being a precursor to archetypes of some kind. Another interesting aspect of the trailer to note is the red butterfly, which is featured prominently in the trailer and lands in Menendez's hand at the end. Now, this is interesting because it's likely an allusion to the butterfly effect, the phenomena in which small changes and decisions can lead to drastic outcomes over time. I think this is definitely what Treyarch and Raven are going for, considering the amount of locations we see in the trailer from prior games. And from that, I suspect we'll see how minor changes back then impact the future world of 2035, likely within the dream state presented in the trailer. It would be a really fun way to let us revisit campaign missions from games like Black Ops 1 and 2 while subverting what we know, as is often the case with Black Ops. The changing of events within the simulation/hallucination landscape could even play into what we just mentioned. What if the guild is tricking Mason, and according to today's leaks, nameless protagonists to relive these events via memories to build the basis for archetypes? In fact, if this is the archetype program, then having our characters be blank slates actually makes complete sense if we become these iconic characters in these simulations, as that's exactly what the Black Ops 4 BlackOut program was. Speaking of the guild, we've actually seen this group before in Black Ops 6's campaign. However, they have come a long way from being the crime family they are in that game, having shifted gears from mafia shit to becoming a bona fide tech leader. But how did this happen? Well, there are a few possibilities. 1. Pantheon aided them. This is the most likely outcome, considering they were just the main villain of BO6, and that stuff hasn't even been properly resolved yet at time of recording. We do know that they were making some kind of deal in Black Ops 6 that seemingly fell through after the mission Blood Feud, where Case and Sev wiped out a significant chunk of the guild. Maybe they revitalized the guild, and in the process handed off some of the tech from advanced technologies and applications, for those who remember them, leading to becoming the powerhouse they are in BO7. 2. Since we're headed back towards the future portion of the Black Ops series, there is something that occurred right after BO2, which we learn about in Black Ops 3. That being the auctioning off of tech and patents from the Tacitus Corporation, the shell company Menendez used for his drone attack. This is actually how Coalescence in BO3 came to prominence. Perhaps the same is true of the Guild. 3. The Guild got acquired by Project BlackOut. This obviously goes back into the archetype stuff we were theorizing earlier. But I hear you ask, doesn't BlackOut come like a decade after this stuff? Well, no, not really. It's not as known, but as evidenced by one of the audio logs in the Specialist HQ and on the actual Blackout map via a document, Project BlackOut has actually seemingly been in operation since the 1970s, way back when. So maybe the guild gets bought out and is used to make the archetypes, maybe relating to Pantheon, but who's to say really? We'll just have to wait and see. In any case, that's about all I have for today's video. Like, subscribe, come join us in the Discord, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next one.